Welcome to the Boss Gambling Show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 6 upsets to bet. Last week we were on a tear. Let's get to it again. Live in the Money Studios. First game, we're going across the pond. We got the Jacksonville Jags at the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Jags +2. Listen, we had the Jags -2.5 last weekend. People said I was crazy. We got the Jags again, and we're going to swim across the pond and try to get this money. I get it. Caleb looked better against the Carolina Panthers. That Bears defense is playing at a pretty high level. We got to give them credit. But when I look at the Jags, I just see a team with more firepower. I see a team that has a better quarterback. And I know Trevor Lawrence is absolutely taking a beating. And I know he's turned into the dog you can just beat and kick when he's down. But he jumped back last week, and I felt like he was phenomenal. But the big part of this game that I think is going to make the difference is I'm asking who's going to run the ball better. And that's what this game's going to come down to. It's not going to be Caleb versus Trevor. It's going to be which offense can run the ball better. And I'm looking at the Jags here. They got the run game going against the Colts last week. We're looking at a Bears team, man. And credit to what they did against the Panthers last week. But Chuba Hubbard had himself a day, and it seems like every single running back has their best day of the year when they get up against this front seven. And if you give this Jags team a run game, they're very, very dangerous. I think they'll run it well. I want to see more Tank Bigsby. I want to see a more physical option. I don't like these DTs on Chicago. I don't like these inside linebackers when we're talking strictly about run fits. I've been saying it since week 1. I'll say it again. That's how you attack this Bears defense. Now, no doubt, I do think the Bears have a better defense, and we saw this Jags defense completely just crumble. They tried to blow a 14-point lead to Joe Flacco at home. It was absolutely inexcusable. But also, this is sports betting. We don't need to get emotional. It's not about what happened last week. I get it. I get your stress. You see these gray hairs in the beard? You think I got them because it's genetics? No, it's because we have a lot of money in play every single week. We're not betting same-game parlays. You know, we're betting straight bets. And we had the Jags last week. I get it, but I'm not going back to that. And the last thing I want to say, like a lot of people are putting out trend bets and saying, oh, rookie quarterbacks never win in London. That's why Caleb Williams is going to lose. Man, I'm not so sure about that. I wouldn't put my money banked on that. But one thing I would say that is a trend is that this Jags team always plays good. Remember when they beat Buffalo? I think they had Urban Meyer as a head coach. I just think this Jags team will be able to manage this game and make big plays. And if you give me the Jags plus money, I'm going to take it. I was shocked when we saw this final line come out. Like, I get why the Bears were favored by Vegas, but when I saw this line actually go from like +1 Jags to +2 Jags, I was very shocked. I think the Jags win the game money line. I'm probably going to go with it. Let's get this money. Next game, we got the Buffalo Bills. Allen. The New York Jets. Jets +2.5. It's an upset show. It is an upset show. We're not picking favorites here. We're not going to get the cream of the litter, the cream of the crop, so to speak. What we're going to get is we're going to get a Jets team that has their backs up against the wall. This is an Alamo situation. Salah fired Tuesday morning, right when I was doing the spread video. And I'm looking at this Jets team, and I've always talked about something I've used when betting soccer. The new coach bounce is real. I told you it last year with Antonio Pierce. I think it comes good again, and we're seeing a Bills offense that was completely out of rhythm and out of ideas against the Houston Texans. Now, I know the Texans have a good defense, but we know when you walk into the Meadowlands, that Jets defense is still top 5 in the league, no matter how bad they are at defensive tackle next to Quinn and Williams. So I think the Jets will be able to do enough to win here. Like, is there a lot of science? Am I going to give it a great soliloquy and give a great reason Don Trump for you to bet your money on this? No, but I know a lot of you guys will be betting this game just because it's Monday night. And I also have issues with this Bills team. And I took a lot of egg on the face early in the year. And let's be real, Josh Allen was absolutely imperious. He was playing at the highest level of anyone in this league. But I'm going back to my original point. I don't feel like there's enough dogs on this team. I don't like the wide receiver position. I'm not necessarily in love with this offensive line. And I think when you look at this defense, this is a smallish defense. If you can move Ed Oliver with Matt Milano on injured reserve, I think you can run it on him. And I'm looking at this secondary, and I'm just not in love with it. And when I look at Aaron Rodgers, one thing people need to remember about him, he's had a lot of dud games, even one 5, 6, 7 years ago. And you can go back and pitch the line that says, oh, Aaron Rodgers is old. Do I think he's banged up? Yes. I mean, you would be banged up if you played a Flores defense and they hit you 12, 15 times a game. But I do think Rodgers is able to make enough plays. I also think the Jets will have a run game this game. Give me the Jets, man. The more this week goes on, the more I'm feeling good about it. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans. Titans +1. I get it. I think the Titans win the game. I don't think this is the biggest upset in the world, but I think you guys need to look at this game. Now, when we talk about coaching hires going into this year, I was very concerned about Callahan with the Titans. And how can you not be when you get rid of Mike Vrabel, who's a very good head coach, and you bring in Callahan, who never really even called plays in this league? But I love his scripted offense. I love the positions he's put this Tennessee offense in. Now you have Will Levis, and a lot of you are saying, Lawson, we're going to follow your advice. We might bet this game if Will Levis isn't in. I get it. We don't want turnovers. And this Colts team with Shane Steichen, whatever we say about their talent or Anthony Richardson or their quarterback play, when you got Shane Steichen, you have a fighting chance. But when I'm looking at this game, man, I think the Titans are able to do a few things better. I think they play better defense. This Colts front seven is weak, man. I think the Titans will be able to run it. And when the Titans run it, their play action game is very, very well designed. And we know they have the thoroughbreds on the outside in Ridley, Hopkins. You can even got more guys like Boyd if you really want to sprinkle in. So I think the Titans are going to have the better offense, but I also love this Titans defense. I told you guys going into the beginning of the season, this Titans defense is extremely underrated, and I don't know if this Colts defense is going to get the reinforcements they need. Like, I don't know if we're going to see Kenny Moore this week. I don't know when we're going to see DeForest Buckner. It is looking grim for them. I think the Titans win this game. I know it's +1, but it is still an upset. And I imagine, like, even if we take away money line and all that, I bet a lot of the money is going to be on the Colts. Let's talk about two upsets that I saw a lot of you guys talking about in the comment section. Bengals at Giants, Giants +3.5. Listen, man, I don't think this is going to happen. Like, I get wanting to rain on the Bengals parade. I get people wanting to overcompensate about what happened last week. Listen, I had the Giants to cover, but a lot of you guys had Seahawks. I'm not hating on that pick. It makes sense scientifically, but I don't think this Giants team is any good, and they still have Daniel Jones. We see Thibodeau. He's going to miss this game, and that's a big part of the Giants, that defensive line. I just think this Bengals defense is terrible. It's an Achilles heel. I'm not saying the Bengals are going to cover the spread, but I think they win the game. So I think you guys are going a little bit far with that upset pick. For instance, I think the Falcons are more likely to lose to the Panthers than the Bengals are to the Giants. So if you wanted to do a long shot, if you really wanted to sprinkle a little bit on money line on a long shot, I would look at the Panthers. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. The best gambling show on the internet. Let's get this money. Slam the like button, subscribe. Come get this money with me. $5 a month on Patreon. What do you got to lose, man? Stop betting the same game parlays. Let's go big. Let's bet single games. Let's put our big boy pants on. Let's bet like a dog.